and welcome back to Mariana Mas Books. My name is Mariana and today I am going to share with you some artist biographies and autobiographies that I want to read. I am going to share with you 3 books that I definitely want to read or plan to read before the end of the year. And then I am going to share some others that are on my radar that I would like to get to, but I am not sure if I am going to be able to. My original plan for today was to film the last 10 books tag, but because this is a TBR of sorts, I thought it made more sense to film this one at the beginning of August. And in 2 weeks, I am going to share the last 10 books tag. As you know, if you watched my last video, I am still planning on uploading general bookish videos bi-weekly, every Thursday bi-weekly, and then on the Thursday that I don't publish a general bookish video, I am going to be publishing small Poetry Thursday videos. With this introduction, let's get into the books. I am having a bit of problems knowing where to direct my eyes so it looks like I'm looking straight into the camera. You must have noticed that one of my eyes goes in a different direction because I can only see with this eye. This eye is blind, so it goes wherever it wants to go, and sometimes I am looking straight into the camera, but it seems as if I'm not because my eyes don't match. Anyway, that's just like a random clarification that I am trying. I'm trying to look on different places and see where I am going to be looking, so it seems like I am looking at you. The first book I'm going to share is an absolute behemoth of a book. I'm going to see if I can hold it up because it weighs like 500,000 pounds. And it is this biography. Look at the size of the book compared to the size of my face. It is huge, but it is this biography of Alexander Calder, who is a sculptor mainly. This biography is the first volume of a 2-volume biography of Alexander Calder. I'm going to put it down because, as I said, it weighs 500,000 pounds. I don't know if you could hear that. Anyway, so I've been seeing a lot of booktube prize videos, and in these ones, many people who are reading nonfiction are reading the Red Comet, which is a biography of Sylvia Plath. And every time I see someone talk about this biography, I really want to read it. But I don't really know anything about Sylvia Plath. I have never read anything by Sylvia Plath, so I was a bit hesitant to commit to a 1,000 plus page book of someone that I don't really know anything about. But I really wanted to read a chunky biography. I was in the mood to read a chunky biography. So I started thinking, okay, who would I like to read about? I really like reading about artists' lives and the art world in general. I love reading art nonfiction in general. So I thought, okay, I will read a biography of an artist. And then I started thinking, okay, which artist would I like reading a really in-depth, chunky, comprehensive biography? I remember that when I was a kid, there were these magazines, Mexican magazines called Saber Ver. And it's a play on words that basically means know how to see, something like that. And in Saber Ver, they every issue featured a different artist. So my mom collected all Saber Ver magazines for my sister and I when we were little, and my favorite issue was Calder's issue. So I remember that I thought, oh, I would love to read an in-depth biography of Alexander Calder, because when I was a kid, I read the issue of that magazine millions of times. So I thought it would be fun to read, as an adult, to read an in-depth, chunky, comprehensive biography of Alexander Calder, who is an artist that I really love. And yeah, I already started this one. I am like 5 chapters in, and I'm really enjoying it. As I said, it's only the first volume in a 2-volume biography of Alexander Calder. I only bought the first one for now, so if I like it, I am going to read the second volume, which I am going to talk about in the next section of the video, which is going to be the On My Radar books. Next book I want to read is actually a memoir, and it is Walk Through Walls, a memoir, and it is the memoir of Marina Abramovic, who is a performance artist I am fascinated with. Performance art is one of those art genres, if you can call it that, that I sometimes don't get, but I am always fascinated by. And I am fascinated by Marina Abramovic and her story and all her performances. I really, really hope that she talks a little bit about her Wall of China walk, because that is a part that I really want to know more about, and I'm very excited to get to this one. So, Walk Through Walls, a memoir by Marina Abramovic. And finally, the Diary of Frida Kahlo, which is obviously except from the Diary of Frida Kahlo, and it has an introduction by Carlos Fuentes, who is a very famous Mexican writer. This one I'm going to read in Spanish. This one I have in Spanish. It's called El Diario de Frida Kahlo, but there is available a translation. I love this. It's a beautiful book. I got it for my birthday. My aunt gave it to me for my birthday, I think a year ago maybe, and I haven't gotten to it, but it is a beautiful hardback, and it has illustrations on the inside. Let me see if I can find one. So on the inside it looks like the pages look like this. They mix text with scans of Frida's diaries, so it's a very beautiful book, apart from the fact that I really want to get to it. So yeah, those are the 3 that are on my TBR. Those are the 3 that I am definitely planning on reading before the end of the year. So 3 books, 5 months. I think I can do this. I'm going to share to you some titles that are on my radar that I wish to get to. I don't know if I'm going to get to them this year or when, but I would like to get to them eventually. Okay, the first book on my radar is The Lives of the Artists by Giorgio Vasari. This is the only one on my list that is not a modern artist. As you can see, all of them were modern artists. This one, they are classic artists. This is the go-to biography for classic painters, and this is a new translation by Julia Conway Bondanella and Peter Bondanella. And this one I was planning on reading this one for Ancients and Thoughts. I started it, but I couldn't finish it, and I don't know if I'm going to read it, as I said, complete this year, but at least 1 or 2 biographies I would like to read from this one. The next one on my radar is the second volume of Calder's biography. The first one was called The Conquest of Time, the Early Years, and this one is The Conquest of Space, the Later Years, also by Jet Perl. It's the second volume. Then the next one I would like to get to is Widow Basquiat, A Love Story, which is by Jennifer Clement. This one is the life and story about Jean-Michel Basquiat's partner and their life together, and Basquiat's last years. I really want to get to this one because it sounds so interesting, and it talks a lot about New York's 80s underground culture, but I don't really know a lot about Jean-Michel Basquiat, so I feel like I need to learn a little bit more by a little bit a little bit more about him before I read the life of his partner. And then the next one on my radar is Ninth Street Women, Lee Krasner, Elaine de Kooning, Grace Hartigan, Jean-Michel, and Helen Frankenthaler. 5 painters and the movement that changed modern art. So those are the artists' biographies and autobiographies on my TBR and on my radar for the rest of 2021. Let me know if you've read any of these or any other artists' biographies that you would recommend. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next Thursday with a poem by a Mexican poet. In the meantime, I hope you have a nice weekend and happy reading!